In this video, we'll discuss some tips to get Canada Study Visa approved in case of a study gap. Firstly, let's talk about study gap. So what is study gap? Any time period between the completion of your previous education and now is considered as a study gap. For example, if you completed your degree or diploma in 2011 and it's 2021 now, that means you have a study gap of 10 years. Now, can a study gap be an issue when applying for a study visa in Canada? The answer is yes. The study gap up to 2 years is acceptable if you are going for an undergraduate degree, and study gap of 5 years is acceptable if you already have a bachelor's degree and are going to pursue a master's course. But if the study gap is more than that, the chances of study visa refusal becomes high. But can you still get Canada study visa if your study gap is more than 5 years? The answer is yes. People with huge study gap have got Canada study visa approved. Now the next question is, how can someone with a huge study gap get his study visa approved? So in this video, I'll give you some suggestions that will make your study visa application stronger if you have a study gap of more than 5 years. The first and most important suggestion is to justify your study gap properly. Now the way you justify your study gap is by writing a strong letter of explanation or SOP and submit that with your study visa application. You need to give a detailed account of every activity that you were involved during this study gap period, and as far as possible, you should also include proof of that. For example, if you're working during that period, include copy of your experience letter or salary slips in your letter of explanation that can prove that you were actually working. If you're preparing for some exam, include the admit card or result card of that exam. If you had some personal issues that caused this study gap, include that in your SOP. Just don't leave any time period in that study gap unjustified. You can check out the video for writing a good SOP. Link is given in description. The second suggestion would be to get a high score in your language test. The colleges or universities may accept students with an average IELTS score, but if you have a huge study gap, a high IELTS score will help in convincing the visa officer about your English proficiency skills and will make your application stronger. It will definitely increase your chances of getting the study visa. Therefore, try to aim for a high language score. You can include the copy of your language test score in your letter of explanation. The third suggestion is to get an offer letter from a high-ranked university. If you have a study gap and want to move to Canada to study, getting an admission in a high-ranked university or a competitive program can increase your chances of visa approval. The universities in Canada have a much competitive admission process than the colleges in Canada. It is easier to convince the visa officer about your interest in studying in Canada if you have an offer from a good university. The fourth and the last suggestion is to choose the province and the city wisely. For this, you'll have to do some research. The province or the city where your college is located can also decide the outcome of your study visa application. For example, currently, most of the students apply to colleges in the Greater Toronto Area region, and the refusal rate for this region is higher as compared to study visa applications for colleges located in the Atlantic region, because the Canadian government is pushing for immigration in those regions. Therefore, it is important to be aware of the current trends in order to increase your chances of study visa approval if you have a huge study gap. That's all in this video. Please like and share this video and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you.